Hi everyone. Well, I'm just questioning this current government's legitimacy, and bear with me because I've thought this through. Apart from the idea of the fuel prices that have risen by more than 100%, whenever they rise by 50 or 100 rupees, and they fall by just 5 rupees. But bear with me, I've thought this through. First thing is, this current government, when you vote in a government, you want them to do something for you. And most probably, people want jobs. Now, when people want jobs, it means that the government must turn the wheel of the economy. But at the very moment, they're not doing a good job with it. And if I'm being very honest, they're actually doing a very opposite job of good. They're actually doing a pathetic job about it. Bear with me, I've thought this through. Now, you've seen in the news that the traders are coming out, screaming their lungs out that this government is just putting tax upon tax upon tax. When you tax something, things become automatically very expensive. And they're taxing it because they've borrowed money. And they're borrowing money on what? The question is what? And the answer is nothing. They're just selling us stuff so that these people can get richer. Bear with me, I've thought this through. Now, each of the government, when they thought of this austerity scheme, it's nothing more than a Ponzi scheme. Why? Because it must start from home, right? Now, all of these people who represent our government are extremely, and I'm going to use this word, filthy rich. They can afford to come to the National Assembly, go back home without any payday, honestly. But I don't want people working without a payday. But should they be working above normal pays, like around 600,000 to $1 million, when a normal person can't afford anything? Add to that the amount of perks that these people receive. I'm going to say this again. Bear with me, because I've thought this through. Now, that being said, rich people don't need perks. Giving perks to the elite or the rich is only pushing the pain towards the normal people. Now, moving on, apart from these perks and apart from what they use, like 100 cars for protocol, 50 cars for protocol, and me and my friend, when the fuel prices were as big as 200 rupees, we charged and we saw that around about 10 million are being spent for Maryam Nawaz in a month on fuel. No labor, no maintenance costs, no miscellaneous costs, just the fuel to send Maryam from her home to the CM office every day, because this is the amount of fuel she has been guzzling down. Can we afford that? Can we just say it again? Bear with me, because I've thought this through. Moving on to the next most important point, justice. The country's justice has fallen apart. Whatever has happened happens under the rule of tyrants. Rule of tyrants. People have been put behind bars on one notion. Why did they speak against you know who, you know when? It does not mean even if a political party is involved in a lot of messes, like for example terrorism, you have to prove it first. Without certain proof, you cannot torture anyone. Torturing is not allowed, but they do it. Now comes to the main point. Before I speak out, I'm going to say it again. Bear with me, because I've thought this through. Our country is being abused by families. They're being abused by families today more than what they were abused in the yesteryears, because we voted and came out and fought. This is, and I'm going to say it in Urdu, saza, punishment for voting out these people and voting in somebody else than them. I started back when Imran Khan was being outed, that these people will come and they will start with the revenge policies. This is it. This is revenge policy. Mujhe, Kyun, Nikala. That question needed to be answered. And this is why all this has been going on. Think about it, because I've thought this through. What else could be the reason? Either they're too inept, and if they're inept, why have they been chosen on Port 47? But if they're not inept and they have the capability, as people say, experienced, then why have they been doing this in the first place?